Democracy has seen close to 60 years in India. Many governments have formed, many have fallen. Many promises have been made, many more broken.
Find resources to support the poor. We have to manage our finances with wisdom and with foresight.
This is the story of one such promise. A promise that the people of the world's largest democracy won't let their leaders forget. Year 2004, India's 14th government, the United Progressive Alliance, was elected to govern the nation.
The UPA reflects the very nature of our society, of our polity.
Its grateful leaders made a pledge to the Indian people, a charter for governance in the form of the National Common Minimum Program. It made many assurances to a nation seeking roots for its growth. Livelihood. Food security. Health. Education. Marginalized groups. Infrastructure. As time passed, the promises gathered dust. A few were kept, many forgotten. From this dust emerged we the people, representatives of people's organizations, development agencies, academicians, political representatives, policymakers, and the media from across the nation. We, the representatives of civil society across India, demand from the United Progressive Alliance government the comprehensive and undiluted fulfillment of the promises made in the National Common Minimum Program. A collective voice of India with an aim to gauge the commitment of the government to its people, a critical review of the government's performance on the agendas that it had set out for itself. We demand the guarantee and realization of the inalienable rights of health, education, housing, livelihoods and employment, social justice, non-discrimination and human security. The national initiative for holding the government accountable was taking place 2 years in a row. Innovative protest rallies, in-depth analysis in seminars, all to create a public debate on critical issues that affect one and all, in cities and in villages. We demand that the commitments made in the CMP be converted into visible action in a time-bound manner. The UPA must proactively ensure social inclusion and address discrimination, especially against women, Dalits, Adivasis, children, and the differently abled. The government's agenda was framed from a people's point of view, but the policies had not addressed people's concerns. This was a collective determination for change by making the government accountable to people. Finally emerged the outcome. In 2006-2007, we demand from the UPA government the implementation of the promises made in the CMP. Commit and spend 6% of the GDP on education and 3% of the GDP on health. Table and enact the bill on 1/3 reservation for women immediately. Enact comprehensive central legislation on reservation in the private sector for Dalits and Adivasis. Enact a comprehensive law to deal with communal violence and abolish the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. Stop forced eviction of the urban poor and ensure the right to housing. Stop privatization of basic services and imposition of user fees. Ensure time-bound implementation of the recommendations of the 7 roundtables on Panchayati Raj and ensure the participation of Gram Sabhas in preparing the development plans of the Panchayats. Ensure the right to work by extending and effectively implementing the NREGA across the country. Ensure the right to land for Dalits, Adivasis and women by immediately acting the Forest Rights Bill and effectively implementing the Land Reforms Act. As people's voices gather momentum, as the collective gathers force, each civil society organization from every corner of this nation can hold the government, central, state or local, accountable. Get the main promises which relate to the poor, marginalized, discriminated against, women, Dalits, Adivasis, physically challenged, children and youth. Evaluate performances through the budgets, annual reports, experts in the field in a public forum. Publish the reports in innovative ways. Catch the media attention. Use reports in different forms for advocacy, campaigns, and popular mobilizations.